Hello and welcome to another Starcraft 2 commentary video with Gumjabar. This is going to be a Protoss versus Zerg matchup on the map Typhon Peaks, which is a very nice map. Pretty good for Protoss, I have to admit, but I mean, I like it, so there you go. Our Zerg is going to be Yellow Yoster, who's at the bottom right. And this is going to be yet another Immortal High Templar game, which is a really awesome way to play, and I think it's getting a lot more figured out lately, so I'll be able to show off pretty much. This is one of the ideal situations to play the game, and I'll really explain how you can how your game plan is going to be for the up until the mid game, pretty much. So at this point, I'm just scouting. Nothing too complicated. Zerg has drones, he's not six-spooling. So, the opening is going to be the one gate expand into Stargate that MC used at MLG Columbus. And you can see that opening on my YouTube channel. Going to make my gateway at the ramp, of course, chrono boosting probes. Workers are going to sort of meet up and high-five right there. He's going pool first without gas. I don't know if I really like that opening, to be honest. I think if you're going to go pool first, you may as well go speedling first, and otherwise you should just try to hatch first. He really wants my probe dead here. I don't think it's ever really worth it to do that. Your probes, I mean your drone to get off mining for a little too long. And I'm just going to go block this hatchery. No big deal. Meanwhile, I'm making my cybernetics core. Zerg has not spotted me yet, so he cannot block my cyber core or steal my gas or anything. Pretty lucky for me. It's very annoying if a Zerg does plant a drone down here, because you do need to pull 2 probes to kill it off. Or you can just make your cyber core someplace else, but then I would have to make another gateway at the ramp to complete my wall in, and that's actually not what I want to do. I want to do a 1 gateway expand. So, just little things like that do help. And now I'm trying to get a good scout. Zerg's microing pretty well, though, and once he's on creep, these speedlings can catch up to the probe. I just want to check for any gas or a roach warren, but as we can see, there is no gas at all. I did not see exactly how much gas he had, but as it is right now, these gasless openings really give Protoss a ton of map control. They do let you drone a lot in safety, and against an aggressive Protoss who isn't really expanding, I would probably recommend it, but since the common Protoss style right now is pretty turtly, I don't think that this gasless thing is really that great, because Protoss can just expand faster and doesn't have to worry about speedlings or roaches for a very long time. Meanwhile, I'm making my number 30 pylon down here at the bottom of the ramp to start a wall in, and I'm going to expand. Expansion right about 520, 525. MC put his down at about 530. It's not really a big deal. You're going to make 2 more probes and then cut probe production, typically. Alright, 1 more. And you just have some speedlings down here, but they have not scouted anything yet. Finally, gas is being taken, about 30 supply for Yellow Yoster. That's not super standard, but, you know, it works. And he will unfortunately get this Zealot. I could have microed that a lot better. And he's going to pressure this a little bit, but not really a big deal. I can let it take some damage. Now, a lot of people have commented on my analysis of MC doing this build that a lot of speedlings just hard counter it, which is a little puzzling to me. because you are making 5 sentries to begin with, and you have force fields. It's not that big a deal. I mean, yeah, the speedlings can put pressure on. Maybe if they get a huge surround in the Nexus, you, for some reason, can't force field it, or they snipe all your sentries, then you have to cancel the Nexus, but they're making a lot of Zerglings that could have been drones, and if you just wait and put the Nexus down a little later, it's not really a big deal. All you have to do is wait for this Void Ray. Speaking of the Void Ray, this is a little late. Now, MCs would be popping out right about now, so clearly I have something to improve on with this build. But regardless, I will be having the Stargate come out. He is not doing a Roach Ling all-in, and he is expanding down here, which is very smart. And you have these Zerglings down here. So now I'm making the Forge. This Forge could have been earlier also, but not a big deal. And now I'm going to take both gases of the natural at the same time. Void Ray is out. Going to go get some map control and scouting. And typically I just send the Void Ray around, clear the watchtowers, kill any overlords I can find. If I can get to this base quickly enough, I can hopefully kill it or delay it. On this map, though, it's probably not possible because you can get a lot of very fast creep connection here. Meanwhile, he is doing a little bit of a Baneling thing. He killed off like a sentry and a probe or two. Not really a big deal, but you know, it's a cute little idea. And after the Void Ray, I'll make 1 Phoenix, and this is going to be for a scouting, because I'm not getting hallucination in this build. And it will chrono boost 1 supply blocked Void Ray, of course. And now just scouting out. So there are 3 drones that just got lost to make spore crawlers. There are actually 8 spore crawlers in production right now, which is a lot. 8, really? Wow. Yeah. So because of that, Zerg and I are now even in the worker count. Pretty good. So I'm scouting out everything here. Whoops, I just hit something. Oh, wrong button. Oh god. Oh god, what did I do? Alright, here we go. I'm back. So I just scouted out the infestation pit, I think. Or I will in a second. Alright, here we go. We're caught up. Here we go. So yeah, I'm scouting infestation pit and Baneling nest. Go back to the production tab. You can see that I was making my Colossus, which is totally standard. A lot of the time I'm forcing Hydralisks with this build, and so I want that fast Colossus. But now that I see there are no Hydras coming and he's going Infestor Baneling, I am going to throw down a Twilight Council and cancel the Robotics Bay. I don't really want Colossus against this composition. Colossus isn't going to help much against Banelings. Instead, I'm going to go for the Twilight Council and work my way up to High Templar. And Blink, of course. Blink is very effective. And I've got this Observer out. Take a look at Zerg's map knowledge, and he has virtually nothing. So that Void Ray really does help. Now I'm getting Blink first, and then the Templar Archives. And supply blocking myself yet again. Getting those upgrades from the Forge, always very nice. Void Ray coming in to clean up the Overlord. So, this is what we're looking at with this game plan for High Templar Immortal. We're going to go off of 2 base, whatever expansion build you like to do. We're going to go for that Blink upgrade, and we're going to go for a High Templar. And about when Blink finishes is when we're taking our 3rd base. Seems a bit risky, but with mass Blink Stalkers you can actually hold off a lot of things. It's just really strong. Again, maybe mass Speedlings would give it a bit of trouble, but that's just silly. And if you, I mean, you're going to be scouting that sort of thing anyway. So Blink is finishing. Blink Stalkers are actually not bad against Hydralisks as long as you have good micro. And you're getting those High Templar out. Storm is going to be finished soon. We do see a Nidus worm coming up, but I did react to it by pulling my probes away and attacking. And he's wasting all those Banelings, so that was actually just a really bad exchange for Zerg. He's only killed 5 workers and just lost a whole bunch of Banelings. This guy is just here to guard the watchtower. I don't want Zerg to know what's coming. And we can see he's actually switched over to Hydralisks. They're in production, so you have to take my word for that. And now that Zerg has spotted my third, or he's going to take his 4th base. I believe this is a mistake. Common knowledge would say, oh, well, just expand again to be ahead of the Protoss in bases. But the key thing is, this is my 3rd base. Protoss' 3rd base is the most important base. A Protoss on 3rd base is at least as strong, if not stronger, than a Zerg on 4 base. Because you can only really saturate 3 bases. And the gas income is a lot more important for Protoss than it is for Zerg, at least in this composition. If he's going Muta, or like heavy Infestor, then yeah, maybe. So now, will the Hydralisk catch up? No, they will not. So he is making a push, and this is a push that I like, going to try and snipe my 3rd base. This is an important thing to do. However, he is not going to be successful. He's going to storm those Hydras, they die instantly. Killing a lot of probes, this is good. But he's not target firing the Nexus, and I think he could have. And potentially killed it. I'm going to storm. Not really that necessary, but I did it anyway. And I'm just going to go ahead and kill all this stuff. We look at the worker count. He is 10 workers ahead, but I'm not concerned about that. I have my 3rd base up safely. The supply count is even, which it never should be. Zerg's macro is falling apart. And I did make these cannons because I saw his push coming. Not really a big deal. Adding on more gateways. I have Blink finished, I have Charge finished, I'm getting upgrades. And I'm slowly adding on Immortals. The Immortals are not a key part of this build. You can actually do it without any Immortals, but against super high numbers of roaches, nothing but roaches, the Immortals really do help a lot. And I mean, you want to put that Robo-Bay to use, or else it's just it's totally worthless building. And now I'm going to be making a push. Now that I'm on 3 bases, I want to start getting hyper aggressive. Zerg is doing another Nidus Worm. Very smart. I mean, I like this style of counterattacking that he's doing. It's just Nidus Worms are kind of flimsy. They're not really... I mean, it's like, oh, I hope he doesn't spot this, and then that's it. So, I mean, I have a pylon here. Like, he should kill this pylon, really. And he's flooding all his units in here. It's smart. But right now, he's just not doing damage. I can just pull away. He's got to work on sniping. He doesn't really know what to snipe here. He's going to get the Templar archives. I only have 1 High Templar, so that was a decent move. But yeah, I've got Void Rays. He is also attacking the 3rd a little bit. The idea of what he's doing, multiple pronged attacking, counterattacking, is a great idea. He could just be doing a better job of it. And my Void Ray is going to clean up the roaches. No problem. Meanwhile, Zerg is working on his 4th base saturation. Scouting out all over the map. Pretty smart. And I'm going to leave this Void Ray up here to prevent any more Niduses. What's the plural of Nidus? Niduses? Nidixon? I don't know. And I'm going to make another push here. I have 1 storm. Zerg is switching it up back to infestors, which is not a good plan. I'm going to be honest, it's just really hard to counter this unit composition. If he goes infestors to counter the blink stalkers, I've got feedback with my High Templar. If he goes hydralisks or mass zerglings to counter the stalkers, I've got sentries and I've got storm, which rip apart both of those units. If he goes mass roach and just relies on fast reinforcements, I've got immortals to add DPS, and I've got blink, which is really strong. I've got force fields, and of course, Psystorm does not do that badly against roaches. It completely ignores armor. And here are the force fields to prevent the zerglings, as we can see. I've got these void rays, and it's just really hard for him to do much against this. I'm going to lose a void ray, unfortunately, to the spore crawler. Not blinking much. Here we go, starting the blink micro. So I'm being a little bit lax with this. And now that I've won a battle, I've got to focus on what damage I can cause. I'm making another immortal. Warping in stuff eventually. There we go. And I am actually trying to take my fourth base, but he's not letting me, which is very annoying. But I've got to do damage here. I've got to kill a base before he can reinforce enough to survive. Which, if he were spending his 5,000 minerals, he would. But so I'm just going to snipe this next, or the hatchery. Kill a bunch of drones here as they run by me. Reinforcing with those High Templar. No Kadarin Amulet, unfortunately, but it's not a big deal. They will get energy eventually. Zerg's hanging in there. He's not going to pull an Idra. He wants to win this, but yeah, that's just not much you can do. When I see a lot of Zerglings, I can also just start reinforcing with more Zealots, and that's pretty strong. So he will GG. So, just to reiterate the build, any expansion you want to do that you consider safe, but I like to do this Void Ray expand. Potentially a DT expand would actually fit in better with this, just because you already have the Templar route open up, you got the Twilight Council. So that's something else to consider. After I do have 2 bases, I'm going to be going for Blink. And keep in mind, I started going for Colossus, but I scouted the Infestation Pit primarily and the Banelings. So I want High Templar to feedback Infestors, and I don't want Colossus because they're terrible against Banelings, so I do want Psystorm. If I scout just a mass roach kind of thing, or Hydras early, then yeah, I'm going to continue with the standard plan of Colossus, because hey, Colossus are super strong, and there's the reason they're standard. But based on scouting, I did go for this Blink and then Templar, and once Blink is about finished, I'm taking my 3rd base. The Blink micro should keep me alive against virtually anything. And yeah, once I've got 3 bases, I'm just going to make High Templar, more Blink Stalkers, and start making Immortals out of this Robo Bay. Just to keep the Robo Bay useful and to spend that money. Because Immortals are going to be help. They're not going to win any games, but they're going to help. And from there, I am basically safe against any composition Zerg can do. Zerg just has to start playing very actively, being counterattacking, trying to snipe Nexuses. And Yellow Yoster did a little bit of that, but wasn't quite that effective. So, that is the game. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.